Stop. Do not scroll. Do not ignore this message. This is not curiosity. This is not coincidence. This is not for everyone. If you are watching this video right now, Archangel Michael has guided you here for a reason. A message is being released to you at this exact moment, and missing it could delay what heaven has already prepared for you. Many will hear these words, but only a few will truly understand them. Stay until the very end, because this message is sealed with divine timing. Welcome, beautiful soul. Today, the presence of Archangel Michael stands strong and unwavering. He is not coming softly today. He is coming with authority, truth, and protection. Archangel Michael appears when something in your life must change immediately. This is not a message of fear. This is a message of awakening. Right now, your life is standing at a crossroads, even if everything looks normal on the surface. Archangel Michael, whose name means, "who is like God," is the warrior of heaven, the defender of truth, and the protector of those walking in light. When he comes forward, it is never random. He comes when you are being attacked spiritually, when hidden forces are working against you, when your destiny is close, and when your soul is ready to rise to a higher level. If you have been feeling sudden emotional heaviness, confusion, unexplained tiredness, or pressure without reason, understand this clearly: you are not weak. You are sensitive to spiritual movement. And something significant is shifting around you. Archangel Michael delivers a warning now. Be careful who you trust in this season. Not everyone who smiles at you wants your success. Not everyone who speaks kindly is aligned with your future. There is someone close who feels threatened by your growth. There is someone observing quietly, hoping you doubt yourself. But you are protected. A spiritual shield is being placed around you right now. Still, you must walk with awareness, not fear, but discernment. Silence is S. You have been asking why things feel delayed. Why progress feels slow. Why doors seem closed. Archangel Michael says you were not being denied, you were being protected. Some doors did not open because what waited behind them would have harmed you. Some people had to leave because they could not follow you into the next season. Delay is not punishment. Delay is preparation. What God is building in you cannot be rushed. Now listen carefully. A sudden shift is approaching. Not slow. Not gradual. Sudden. One conversation. One message. One opportunity. One truth revealed. What felt blocked will begin to move quickly. But this shift requires courage. You can no longer shrink yourself. You can no longer doubt your worth. Your voice carries power. Your presence changes rooms. Heaven has invested too much in you for you to give up now. You have been in a spiritual battle, even if you didn't have words for it. You felt it in your thoughts. In your emotions. In your sleep. Archangel Michael says this battle was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal your strength. Pray with authority. Speak life over your future. Stop replaying negative thoughts. Cut energetic ties with people who drain you. Every time you choose faith over fear, your protection grows stronger. You are not fighting alone. Heaven is fighting with you. If you feel broken, tired, misunderstood, or close to giving up, hear this clearly. Do not quit 5 minutes before your miracle. Your pain has not been wasted. Your tears have been counted. Your patience is about to be rewarded. You survived what was meant to destroy you, and that alone proves your destiny carries weight. What you went through was not random. It was training. Archangel Michael now asks you to do 3 things. Trust divine timing even when it hurts. Protect your energy as something sacred. And prepare for expansion, not survival. Stop thinking small. Stop expecting disappointment. Stop apologizing for who you are. Your season is Chang. Do not rush past this moment. Something is happening beneath the surface of your life, even if nothing around you seems to confirm it yet. Archangel Michael says the greatest transformations begin silently. You are standing in a season where heaven is rearranging things you cannot see. That is why patience has been demanded of you. That is why clarity has felt delayed. What is forming now requires precision, not speed. There were moments you questioned yourself. Moments when you wondered if you misunderstood the signs, if you imagined the calling, if the promises were ever real. Archangel Michael says those doubts were not weakness. They were resistance from the old version of you that cannot follow where you are going next. Growth always creates tension. Expansion always challenges identity. You are shedding a version of yourself that survived, so a version can rise that leads. Understand this clearly. The confusion you felt was not because you were lost. It was because you outgrew the environment that once made sense. When the soul expands, familiar spaces begin to feel uncomfortable. Familiar people begin to feel distant. Familiar routines begin to feel empty. This is not loneliness. This is elevation. Archangel Michael says there has been a silent separation happening in your life. Without arguments. Without dramatic endings. Without explanations. Some connections faded naturally. Some conversations stopped. Some people drifted away. This was not rejection. This was redirection. They could not access the version of you that is emerging. And forcing them to stay would have slowed your destiny. You are entering a phase where discernment matters more than emotion. Not everything that feels good is aligned. Not everything that is comfortable is safe. Archangel Michael is sharpening your spiritual awareness so you can sense what words cannot explain. Trust that feeling in your chest when something feels off. Trust that pause before you respond. Trust the silence that Archangel Michael says now the focus shifts from awareness to command. Awareness opened your eyes. Command will steady your hands. Many awaken but few learn how to hold what they see. Holding requires discipline. Discipline is the quiet agreement you make with truth every day. This is the stage where your words begin to matter more than before. Not because you speak louder, but because what you say carries alignment. Alignment gives words weight. Weight changes atmosphere. Atmosphere determines outcomes. Speak only what you are willing to stand behind. You may notice a subtle pressure when you consider compromise. That pressure is not restriction. It is calibration. Michael says compromise that once felt harmless will now feel heavy. That heaviness is guidance. Ignore it, and correction will follow. Respect it, and momentum will increase. There is a separation happening internally. Old desires that were fueled by validation are losing power. New desires, quieter but stronger, are taking their place. These desires are not impatient. They are intentional. Intention outlasts excitement. Michael warns you of a refined test. It is not temptation to fall back, but temptation to prove yourself. Proving seeks applause. Authority seeks order. Do not confuse movement with performance. Performers burn out. Governors endure. You are learning how to say no without explanation. This is not arrogance. This is stewardship of energy. Energy mismanaged becomes exhaustion. Exhaustion invites error. Error invites correction. Avoid the cycle by guarding your yes. Notice how your attention shifts when unnecessary conflict appears. You no longer feel drawn to engage. This is maturity, not avoidance. Not every battle deserves presence. Presence is currency now. Spend it wisely. Michael speaks about timing again. He says delay is no longer protection for you. Delay now becomes disobedience when clarity is present. Obedience does not rush, but it does not hesitate either. It moves WHE. Archangel Michael carries the sword not to threaten, but to cut through delay. Delay is the most successful weapon of darkness. Darkness does not need to destroy you if it can keep you distracted long enough. Michael says clearly, this information is appearing because you are standing at a decision point. Decisions made here will echo forward. Ignoring this does not make it disappear. It only removes guidance. Throughout sacred history, Michael has defended humanity against unseen forces, guarded souls during transition, and enforced divine law when imbalance grew too strong. He is the angel that darkness does not negotiate with. When Michael appears, compromise ends. If you continue forward without understanding this moment, you risk continuing patterns that drain your strength, distort your identity, and delay your assignment. That is not death of the body, but it is death of momentum, death of clarity, death of timing. Michael does not repeat warnings endlessly. Repetition belongs to training stages. This is correction stage. This message is not meant for casual listening. It is meant for alignment. Watch with awareness. Listen with seriousness. Pause when needed. This is not background noise. Because once truth is revealed, it cannot be unseen. Archangel Michael stands here not as a threat, but as a final stabilizing force before movement. What you do after this matters more than what you felt before it. Choose awareness. Choose discipline. Choose alignment. Ignoring this moment does not end life. But it can end the version of life you were meant to step into. Do not scroll. Do not assume this is just another message. What is appearing in front of you right now is not ordinary information. Archangel Michael says this is a line between awareness and irreversible consequence. If you move forward without understanding what is being revealed here, you risk destroying something that cannot be rebuilt the same way again. Archangel Michael is not a symbol. He is not mythology. He is not imagination. He is the chief commander of heavenly authority, the protector of divine order, the enforcer of truth, and the one assigned to confront chaos directly. Wherever deception grows powerful, Michael is dispatched. Wherever confusion threatens destiny, Michael intervenes. Michael does not arrive to entertain. He arrives to correct. His presence is not gentle comfort, it is alignment through force of truth. Throughout history, Michael has been the dividing line between survival and collapse, between order and destruction, between obedience and irreversible loss. This message is dangerous for one reason only: it removes ignorance. Once ignorance is removed, responsibility begins. Responsibility ignored becomes consequence. Archangel Michael is the angel of judgment, not condemnation. Judgment means separation of truth from illusion. When Michael speaks, false structures collapse. That includes beliefs, habits, relationships, and decisions that no longer serve alignment. If you walk away from this moment without awareness, you do not lose your life physically, but you risk losing direction, protection, and timing. Destiny missed does not always announce itself. Sometimes it disappears quietly, leaving regret where purpose should have. Michael is known as the angel who stands at thresholds. Thresholds are dangerous places. You either cross correctly, or you remain trapped in repetition. Many have lived entire lives repeating cycles because they ignored moments like this. This is not fear meant to control you. This is gravity meant to wake. Why? Archangel Michael says now the focus shifts from awareness to command. Awareness opened your eyes. Command will steady your hands. Many awaken but few learn how to hold what they see. Holding requires discipline. Discipline is the quiet agreement you make with truth every day. This is the stage where your words begin to matter more than before. Not because you speak louder, but because what you say carries alignment. Alignment gives words weight. Weight changes atmosphere. Atmosphere determines outcomes. Speak only what you are willing to stand behind. You may notice a subtle pressure when you consider compromise. That pressure is not restriction. It is calibration. Michael says compromise that once felt harmless will now feel heavy. That heaviness is guidance. Ignore it, and correction will follow. Respect it, and momentum will increase. There is a separation happening internally. Old desires that were fueled by validation are losing power. New desires, quieter but stronger, are taking their place. These desires are not impatient. They are intentional. Intention outlasts excitement. Archangel Michael says this stage separates listeners from responders. Listening brings awareness. Response brings alignment. Many hear truth and still remain unchanged because response demands responsibility. Responsibility is heavier than inspiration. Inspiration excites. Responsibility stabilizes. Stability is what heaven trusts. This is where the internal struggle becomes quiet but intense. Not loud fear. Not panic. A calm pressure asking one question only: will you act with accuracy, or will you delay again? Delay no longer feels neutral here. It feels costly because it is. Michael reveals that destiny does not collapse suddenly. It erodes slowly when response is postponed. Erosion is subtle. You do not notice it day to day. You notice it years later when distance has grown and momentum is gone. This message interrupts erosion. You are not being rushed, but you are being measured. Measurement is not judgment. Measurement determines readiness. Readiness is not emotional confidence. It is structural alignment. Structure determines whether growth adds strength or causes fracture. Michael speaks clearly now. He says, the reason restlessness increased in your life is because misalignment cannot stay comfortable once awareness arrives. Comfort during misalignment is removed intentionally. That discomfort is mercy. Mercy pushes before collapse occurs. Some of you tried to silence that discomfort with distraction. Work. Entertainment. Noise. But silence kept returning. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is instruction waiting for obedience. At this level, spiritual growth stops being dramatic and starts being precise. Precision removes excess. Excess drains energy. Energy is required for execution. Execution is now expected. Michael warns gently but firmly, do not treat this message as information only. Information without integration becomes burden. Burden produces heaviness. Heaviness slows movement. Integration turns information into instruction. You may feel resistance rising as you listen. That resistance is not your enemy. It is exposure. Exposure reveals what must be corrected before progress can continue safely. Progress without correction leads to collapse later. Michael prevents collapse by enforcing pauses now. There is a reason this message feels weighty. Weight is added before expansion. Expansion without weight is instability. Instability cannot carry authority. Michael says clearly, if you proceed forward without integrating this awareness, you do not lose your life, but you risk losing clarity, protection, and efficiency. You risk entering seasons where effort increases but results decrease. That imbalance is costly. This is why attention is required. Attention aligns movement. Distraction multiplies effort without outcome. Archangel Michael is known throughout sacred history as the guardian of thresholds, the commander who ends cycles, the enforcer who restores order when chaos spreads too far. His presence is not symbolic. It is corrective. This part of the message is not emotional. It is procedural. Procedures exist to protect systems. You are now treated as a system of value. Value receives protocol. Protocol requires compliance. Michael instructs you to stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is dependable. Dependability sustains authority. Authority stabilizes destiny. You will notice a shift in how your conscience responds. What you once justified will now feel wrong immediately. This is not condemnation. This is calibration. Calibration ensures accuracy before movement resumes. There will be fewer warnings after this. Not because danger increases, but because responsibility has transferred. Transfer means you are now accountable for response. Michael emphasizes this final point in Part 5. Ignoring clarity does not destroy destiny, but it distorts the path. Distorted paths take longer, cost more, and exhaust the carrier. Precision paths conserve strength. Archangel Michael says this is the phase where intention must become action. Intention held too long without movement turns into pressure. Pressure ignored turns into resistance. Resistance slowly reshapes destiny into something smaller than it was meant to be. This is why execution is no longer optional. You are not being asked to act perfectly. You are being asked to act honestly. Honesty in action corrects itself quickly. Perfectionism delays endlessly. Michael says perfectionism is often fear wearing discipline's mask. Remove the mask. This part will feel serious because seriousness is required now. Playfulness belongs to exploration. You have explored enough. Now comes establishment. Establishment creates permanence. Permanence requires consistency. Michael reveals that some opportunities you thought were missed were actually delayed intentionally until you were stable enough to carry them. Carrying without stability would have crushed you. Stability has been forming quietly. Now weight can be added safely. You may notice resistance when routine replaces excitement. Do not misinterpret this. Routine is where authority becomes real. Anyone can rise during emotional momentum. Few can remain steady when momentum fades. Remaining steady is what separates influence from impact. Archangel Michael speaks about fear again, but differently. Fear no longer shouts. It whispers convenience. It suggests waiting for a better moment. It suggests preparing just a little more. Michael says preparation without movement becomes avoidance. Avoidance drains courage. This is the moment where clarity demands follow-through. Follow-through does not need applause. It needs repetition. Repetition builds mastery. Mastery builds confidence that cannot be shaken easily. Your inner resistance may surface as tiredness or distraction. Not because you are weak, but because old patterns are losing control. Patterns resist replacement. Replacement always feels uncomfortable before it fades. You will notice new boundaries forming naturally. Things you once tolerated will feel intrusive. This is not arrogance. This is clarity. Clarity protects alignment. There may be moments where you feel alone in decision-making. This is intentional. Crowds influence emotion. Solitude sharpens judgment. Judgment here means discernment.